Hello, hello, everybody, and welcome to Ask Doc Live. So nice to see so many waiting to come into the meeting as we are getting started and set up here. Thank you so much for your patience and your promptness and the early birds. So excited to see so many people that are wanting to be empowered and take control of their health and gather information that they can use for themselves, for their families, for their communities. Because as we do that, one person at a time, one community at a time, we reach around the world. And I love the fact that we have people from around the world on our calls each and every week. My name is Rebecca Kozak, and I will be the host of Ask Doc Live for the next 2 hours. And I am accompanied by my co-hosts, Ruth Ellen Sanchez, Nasima Omar, and Jonty McCollier. And we bring this program to you as a resource. So as you were watching, take notes. If you missed something, if you're on live with us, all of our recordings from our shows can be found at AskDocLive.com. Dr. Wallach's most popular books can be found there also. We have the Good Foods, Bad Foods list at AskDocLive.com. And one thing that I want to really make sure you understand is if you were invited to this program, whether it's live or watching the recording, make sure you get back with the person that invited you to the program. They have a vested interest in making sure that you get information that's empowering to you. And they also have a special way of ordering to make sure that you're getting what you need. And especially if it's one of our coaches, they're there to help coach and guide you using the methods and recommendations that are presented in our Ask Doc Live program. So without further ado, I do want to make sure that you know that the content of this program is to provide educational information only on the importance of nutrition and supplementation in a world where the food supply is empty and void of what the body needs, not just to survive, but thrive. There is such a big difference. In this program, we will be sharing the nutritional options that are available through supplementation in a form that the body can readily absorb and utilize. Not all nutrients are created equal. The FDA does require us to let you know that our products are not meant to treat, prevent, diagnose, or cure any diseases. And this program is not meant to take the place of your primary care physician. So we bring good news. So many of us have the mindset and the training that's been really implanted in our brains that whatever conditions that our family history has brought down the line will be ours as well. Well, with the study and science of epigenetics, that has been proven to be incorrect. And you are empowered as an individual to have more control over your health journey than you have been taught. Epigenetics is the study of how your behaviors and environment can cause changes and affect the way that your genes work. So we invite you to feel the difference and to share with us about the epigenetics. I don't know of anyone better than one of the founding fathers of epigenetics, who is here with us each and every week from his busy schedule to make sure that we have the information that is going to be most beneficial to the body and why. Dr. Joel Wallach. Dr. Wallach, thank you again for being with us. And your commitment to making sure this information is heard around the world is so admirable, but most of all, it's because you care. And I so appreciate that. So Dr. Wallach, thank you.
Oh, well, thank you, Rebecca, and thank you and the entire team. I'm not the only one here every week. you guys are too. So appreciate that, believe me. And our goal here is to add 25 to 50 healthy years to everybody's life. We can add 25 to 50 healthy years to everybody's life if they would just do a couple of simple things. And you touched on them. Number one, they have to stay away from the bad foods: no fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, no glutens, no wheat, butter, and oats, no sugar, no carbonated drinks. Even the diet ones got to go, because they interfere with absorption. They interfere with function of these nutrients. And they also proactively cause oxidative damage and can create cancer and all kinds of stuff. So you really, really have to stay away from the bad foods. Then our bodies require a minimum of 90 essential nutrients. And that's was our original program. Gosh, it goes back 50 years to the Healthy Start Pack. And of course, later on, we had a bigger program for heavier issues called the Healthy Brain and Heart Pack, which has 215 nutrients, but the basic core is still the Healthy Start Pack, the 90, with all these other 115, 120 nutrients added to it. And right now, just kind of touching on the COVID thing, because it's beginning to level out a little bit, not a lot, because there's days where it spikes like crazy. And so it's still not fully under control. Right now we have, these are this morning's figures: 772,394 dead. 772,394 dead in 19 months. Now, this is more than 750,000 people dead. All right. The COVID-19 has cost us more. This came out yesterday. It cost us more in money than the entire World War II for the United States. COVID-19 has cost us more in money than the entire World War II cost. Okay, that's how crazy this is. I subtract 675,000, which is how many people died during the Spanish flu in 1918, 1919, in 2 years. Subtract that from 772,394, and you get 97,394. We're just short, and within a couple of days, we'll be at 100,000 more deaths, 100,000 more deaths than they did for the Spanish flu in 2 years. We're only at 19 months. Not a very good record. Some of our most famous people, Colin Powell, I just really weep, because he was such a great contributor. He was a 4-star general. He was the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff. He was the first Black to be Secretary of State in the United States. And so he was really a worthy person. And he had 2 vaccinations, okay, a month apart. And he died of the COVID. How could that be? Well, he died of the COVID, I guarantee you, because he was still eating gluten, still eating fried foods, and not supplementing with all 90. He may have been taking some of these vitamin mineral things that have 20 or 30 vitamins and minerals in them, but they were short by 2/3 of the nutrients necessary to protect the immune system, which is your bone marrow. And so what I like people to do when they get the Healthy Brain and Heart Pack, the heavy duty big hammer in the toolbox right now because of the COVID, they also need to throw in the MSM, which particularly is useful to support and promote maintenance, repair, cartilage, ligaments, tendons, connective tissue, discs between the vertebrae, bone matrix. I'm stopping there. The bone matrix is where your white blood cells and antibodies, red blood cells, and platelets are made. And some people say, well, yeah, I got to get a transfusion every month because I don't make enough platelets. I bleed all the time if I don't get the platelets. Or I have to have injections, iron shots and B12 shots every week from the doctor. Otherwise, I'm anemic. Well, that's because your bone marrow is dead, because you're not getting the nutrients, because you're eating gluten, your intestines have died. And instead of looking like a shag rug on the inside, they look like a plastic tube. So you've lost 98 to 100% of your absorptive surface. And even if you're supplementing, if you don't get rid of the bad foods, you're still in trouble. And then the blood test for these nutritional levels of nutrients and toxic metals is kind of useless, okay? Because your body tries very hard to keep everything in balance, and it'll rob Peter to pay Paul here. It'll take minerals from one place to put in another place. And that's what the body does. And that's why we came out with the book, Rare Earths and Cures. It talks about all this. Also in chapter 10 and 11, it goes into how to collect your hair, how to box it up, where to ship it to. Don't forget to put the check in there because the lab won't run the test without the check. And basically, you get two charts. You get one chart on the nutritional minerals. Are you absorbing them? It'll tell you right away. You just look at it. You don't even need to be able to read. If all the bars are down below that bottom line, you're not absorbing. That's very simple. But then also tell you which ones are very low, which ones are in the right place, and where you need to supplement more. But also there's a second chart, second table, which goes into all the toxic metals. We're talking about mercury and lead and uranium and stuff like that. And right now in the past, I don't know, 3 months, 6 months, I've been getting so many people with lots of uranium in their hair analysis. Where are you getting uranium? I don't know. Well, do you live near a power plant? Well, yeah. Well, what do they use for fuel? Oh, they use uranium. This is one of those types of power plants. I said, okay, well, that's where you're getting the smoke. You're downwind, aren't you? Yeah, I'm downwind of the plant. Well, there you go. So you either have to move, and certainly we have the herbal rainforest, which will help you detoxify. Go ahead and, for 100 pounds of body weight, you need 1 ounce a day. So if you only weigh 110 pounds, you get a ½ ounce of the herbal rainforest at breakfast, a ½ ounce at dinner time. So 1 quart will last you a month. If you weigh 150 pounds to 220 pounds, I would get 2 bottles of the herbal rainforest. So you can take 1 ounce of that twice a day and help you get rid of all the toxic metals. And whether it's lead or mercury or uranium or any of these other toxic metals. And Rebecca, I get so many people who spent, 10, 12, 15, 20 years in the military, and they say, yeah, I know I've been sick all these years because I was contaminated by all those toxic weapons and so forth. So let's do a hair analysis. We do a hair analysis, couldn't find any lead or mercury or uranium in them. And they were just shocked. And I said, do you eat gluten? Well, yeah. I said, you eat oatmeal? I eat oatmeal for breakfast every morning. What about flour tortillas? Well, I have them like 3 days a week for lunch. What about spaghetti? Oh, I have spaghetti 3, 4, 5 nights a week. Well, you're getting all that gluten. And that's why even if you're supplementing, you're not able to protect yourself because you cannot absorb those nutritional minerals. And what will show up is you'll have high calcium sometimes, really high calcium in hair analysis. And doctors say, you got to stop taking calcium, you got too much calcium. Well, it's just the opposite. What's happening here, the parathyroid glands are sucking the calcium out of the bones to try and maintain the calcium. They're just sort of overreacting a little bit. And so you're getting high calcium in the hair analysis because your parathyroids are proactively working to get more calcium into your blood. And so that's why it shows up high in your hair analysis. So don't be so quick to take the calcium out of your diet. And what you want to do is say, well, doctor, why don't you take the calcium out of your diet for 6 months and tell me how you're doing? Okay. I want to see what you do for a calcium-free diet and supplement program for 6 months before I even think about it. And so at any rate, I do a hair analysis once a year, whether I think I need it or not, because I travel so much. I don't know what's in the water. I don't know what's in the food, where I'm going. I know what I'm supplementing with, but I don't know what the toxic metals are around the world. And so I do a hair analysis once a year to see where I'm at, because I'm in such different places all the time. And so I think I have to do that to protect myself. Now, let's see here. I've got a little bit more time in my segment, so I'm going to tell you a couple more stories. This one's a terrible story. Since 2010, we've had 65,000 U.S. military veterans commit suicide by shooting themselves in the head. 65,000 since 2010. That's more military dead than was in the combined wars of Vietnam, Iraq, and Afghanistan combined. This is not acceptable. Okay, so why do they commit suicide? Well, they were frustrated, they were depressed, they were nutritionally deficient. And when you're nutritionally deficient and you get depressed, sometimes you think, well, the only way out is just to end it all. I'll go to heaven early and all that kind of stuff. And so they commit suicide. Now you have to appreciate that you do have to consciously supplement. Well, my doctor said I can get everything I need just by eating well. Well, our trouble started, and that's where epigenetics come in. Thank you for the kind introduction on epigenetics, Rebecca. Because as you said, I'm considered one of the 2 founding fathers of that science. There are no genetically transmitted diseases. There are no genetically transmitted birth defects, and there are no autoimmune diseases. Lupus, psoriasis, rheumatoid arthritis, celiac disease, irritable bowel syndrome, all those kind of things are not autoimmune. They're just simple gluten problems. People who are eating gluten and not supplementing to get all these diseases. You do have to use an antibiotic with the rheumatoid arthritis. It's called minocycline, like the little bait fish, minocycline. Okay. Rheumatoid arthritis is not an autoimmune disease. It's just a nutritional deficiency arthritis with a secondary infection with a bug called mycoplasma. But fortunately, that mycoplasma bug is killable with an antibiotic called minocycline. So if you take the Healthy Brain and Heart Pack, take the MSM, take some vitamin D3, throw in the extra Beyond OsteoFX, and throw in the Collagen Peptides, and you will regrow your bones and your cartilage. Okay, don't forget, if you have rheumatoid arthritis, you also need to throw in that minocycline. It's a 6 to 8 weeks prescription, and it kills the bug. And I don't care if you've had rheumatoid arthritis for 40 years, in less than 90 days, you won't have rheumatoid arthritis anymore. And sometimes it happens as quickly as 4 to 6 weeks. So give it a shot, because the odds are you're going to get a major benefit from following these little plans. And of course, we want to offer to our veterans, go to, every city, big city, and sometimes counties have a VA hospital. They have a VA event hall for veterans administrations. And what you do is need to make a sample set. Get some of our CDs, okay, like Dead Doctors Don't Lie, something like that, with your name and phone number on there, on the label. And we can do that for you. And also, you want to get some samples, say the sticks, the individual servings of Rebound, and Scotch tape that to your business card and to the CD, and hand them out. Put a basket of those things on the desk there at the VA hospital or the VA center, and let the veterans pick them up. And you'll get calls from those guys and get them involved in longevity. And see, the goal here is to use their training and their training and their training in leadership, which they get a lot of in the military. But once they're out of the military, they're in a different community. And so people don't recognize their value. Well, we recognize their value. Remember, I retired as a lieutenant colonel in the Air Force. I spent 7 years in the Army and 20 years in the Air Force. And so I love these guys and gals. And so we need to care for them and prevent them. I would be happy if we could end all these suicides completely, just not a single one starting today. Okay, 65,000, more than all the deaths, the combat deaths in Vietnam, Iraq, and Afghanistan combined. It's just unacceptable. And so with that, that's my sort of start. Oh, also, we have 2 new CDs, one of which is Dr. Wallach's Laws of Photosynthetic Disruption and Global Warming. Goes into why we have global warming. It has nothing to do with fossil fuels. All the dead zones, the trilobites died, 25,000 species. The dinosaurs died, 1,200 species. We have all these dead zones, and the reefs are dying. They're all dying from the same reason. They're all dying from the same reason, because we're not getting the nutrition, okay, to the various species of plants out there that actually make photosynthesis work. They didn't have cars 400 million years ago when there was dinosaurs. They didn't have cars 500 million years ago when there were trilobites, okay? And so what happened? Well, every time there was a mass extinction, it had nothing to do with carbon dioxide and carbon fuels. It happened because of glaciers, glaciation, which would dam up the rivers and the streams, and so that the nutrients didn't get to the lakes and the swamps and the rivers and the oceans and the seas. And that's why we have all these problems. It's hypoxia that everybody's dying from, including the trilobites, the dinosaurs, the seas and the gulfs and so forth for the dead zones. And the reefs are all dying from the same thing. They're dying of hypoxia. They're not dying from pesticides, pollution. Yeah, they're not dying from pesticides and pollution. They're not dying from carbon dioxide. They're dying because the process of photosynthesis requires sunlight. Everybody knows that. Everybody knows chlorophyll. Everybody knows that, and that's it. No, there's a third thing that plants need to perform photosynthesis, and that is 20 nutrients. And if you're low in one or two of them, or you're missing one, photosynthesis does not occur. And that's when all these species of animals died. That's why we have the dead zones. That's why we have, in every case, we're damming up rivers that would feed the algae in the lakes and the swamps and the rivers and the deltas. And we shut off their food supply. They couldn't do photosynthesis anymore. And so the carbon dioxide would go up. And that's still not what killed them. It was a lack of oxygen that killed all these species of animals and all these people, including the Great Barrier Reef on the eastern coast of Australia. There's 183 dams that cut off the food supply to the center part of the Great Barrier Reef, which is 1,400 miles long. It's made up of 2,000 small reefs and 900 small islands. And the northern 25% is good. The southern 25% is good. It's only the center part that's in trouble. And that's because there's 183 dams that shut off the food supply to the algae that fed the oxygen to the coral polyps that maintain the reefs. That's the problem. So you got a college education there in 20 minutes.
That's awesome, Dr. Wallach. I have a couple questions about it.
Okay.
So you mentioned that there was, did you say 170 dams that are cutting off the nutrients?
183.
83.
Yeah, 183 dams in Eastern Australia. Okay, dams and reservoirs. They're hydroelectric dams, or they're irrigation dams, or water conservation dams. They're dams that prevent flooding and all kind of stuff. And so it cut off the food supply, the silt, the minerals, these 20 nutrients that the chloroplasts need to do photosynthesis. And that's where we run into the problem. And that goes back to the beginning. I actually have the names of the glaciers from the days of the dinosaurs that came along and shut off the food supply to the algae in the oceans and the swamps. And guess what? No more photosynthesis, no more oxygen. And that's why the dinosaurs all died out, not from pollution. There were no cars back in the days of the dinosaurs. Okay. And these people are insane when they come up with stuff like that. They're not even thinking straight. They must be drinking too much
Kool-Aid.
Kool-Aid, yeah, right.
Flavored, artificially flavored drinks full of sugar or artificially flavored sweeteners. But so I have a couple more questions, Dr. Wallach. Say again what the name of that new CD is.
Okay, Dr. Wallach's Laws of Photosynthetic Disruption and Global Warming. It's actually the soundtrack off of a Zoom that I did on that subject with pharmacist Keith Abel from Louisville, Kentucky. And of course, we have our names on there, but if you want to, buy 10 of them, you get a discount. If you want to buy a case of them, you get a big discount. And we can put on a label there that has my name and your phone number. Okay. And so that way you can use it as a tool, to go along with these individual servings of either Rebound or BTT 2.0, along with your business card and so forth. And get those things to the VA facilities, get them to the VA hospitals. Go park outside of a military base for a couple hours every week and hand them out when people come out and say, hey, if you want, after you listen to this, I'll be here, every week on Wednesdays or every week on Thursdays, whatever it is. And to say, we'll go talk after you listen to the CD. And maybe you're interested in this because this is going to help you earn some extra money. You'll pay wholesale for the products. Dr. Wallach will pay the shipping if you get on auto ship. And You can make a little bit of extra money. You get tax breaks for running a business out of your home, all this good stuff. So please listen to the CD and try the samples. We want to work with you. And so just being proactive with these veterans, we have so many. And I got a big story coming out next week. One of our Navy SEALs, he chose not to get the vaccinations and he almost died. He got the COVID. He was in the VA hospital on a ventilator, unconscious and all that kind of stuff. And then he kind of woke up a little bit and he started using, he was using our products. He was taking our 90. But he was helping other people with the COVID and he, got cross-contaminated. And he started using our aromatherapy programs on himself when he was in the hospital. His wife brought him the aromatherapy programs. Well, guess what? In just a couple of weeks, the COVID was gone and he just walked out of there, waving goodbye to the doctors, and they were freaking out because they couldn't believe it. Okay, so we're going to have his story and what aromatherapy oils he used to defeat COVID. Navy SEAL, isn't that great?
That's fantastic. And, taking the supplementation, it gives your body what it needs to be able to thrive. And there will be times where there's something that just wants to attack no matter what you do, but it gives you the opportunity to be able to fight back. And I love that. I appreciate that because I also have gone through the big CO-19, however you want to abbreviate it. But it was, and I praise God that I didn't even have to consider hospitalization. So his story is absolutely incredible.
Well, you are an incredible angel of God. You help so many people. You are a chosen one, that's for sure.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And I love being part of the chosen as you are, Dr. Wallach. But again, it's, I've been so blessed and I just found or was given my purpose to be able to help others. And, like Dr. Wallach said, you can make this a business and a very profitable business. It does take work. It takes consistency. It takes, a little bit of footwork, opening your mouth, using your fingers to dial or type, but it's something that is very much worthwhile, very much needed. And if you have any interest in joining us, we do have an amazing program and training through the Institute of Holistic Health. You can go to instituteofholistichealth.com to find out more information about that. And go to Ask Doc Live, contact us if you would like to get started. But again, if somebody referred you to this program, get back with them instead. Okay. And Dr. Wallach, I want to make sure people know where to get that new CD, and that is at drjwallach.com. So that might not be one that we have on our Ask Doc Live website yet, but you can find it through Dr. Wallach's own publication company and distribution center.
www.drjwallach.com. There's another set of a CD and DVD, which is working very well right now because people who are in trouble like this Navy SEAL, they didn't have a G tube. They were unconscious. They were in a coma for 8 years and that kind of stuff. And they're just about ready to go away. Okay. The doctors were ready to pull the plug on them after 8 years of being in a coma. We were feeding them through a G tube. We're feeding them our products and everything. But they wanted the room and they said, we're going to just pull the plug on this guy because, there's no hope for him to ever recover, and just keeping him alive, with it's just taking space that we need. And so what we do is we have just the plain plant minerals and we rub them on these people on their skin, because some people don't have G tubes when they're in a nursing home. They just have IVs and things like that. So you can't, feed them our stuff through an IV. And so what we do is we just take the plant-derived minerals, take a couple of cups a day, and a paper napkin and rub it all over their back and their tummy and their legs and everything, because they'll absorb the minerals through their skin. And these people, after 8 years of being in a coma, they get up and they go back to work. They didn't realize they were in a coma for 8 years. we had a pastor, Mike Freeman, up in Baltimore, Maryland. He was in a coma for 6 months, and the doctors pulled the plug on him, said, well, he's only got a couple of days to live, so we're just going to pull the plug and make it easy on everybody. And his wife and one of our great distributors, Miss Linda Tyler up there in Baltimore, Maryland, rubbed Pastor Mike Freeman on his back and his belly and his legs with the plant minerals. In 3 days' time, he wakes up and goes back to the studio at the church where he does his TV and his radio. And I flew out there, and he and I did a DVD and a CD. It's called Praise the Lord and Pass the 90. It's named after that military prayer. When you're in a battle against an overwhelming enemy and it doesn't look good, everybody would say, praise the Lord and pass the ammunition. We just changed it a little bit to praise the Lord and pass the 90. And so Pastor Mike Freeman, he did such a great job. When he woke up out of that coma, only had a few days to live, just because Miss Linda and his wife, the two of them together, rubbed these minerals on him. And it's a God's miracle. That's all I can say.
Absolutely. And, you know, I love Linda. I mean, she's one of my cherished friends. She has taken her teaching skills as a teacher and has created an amazing part of our leadership where it goes beyond just about sales. I mean, we're talking personal development. We're talking, you know, coming together and learning about different ways to reach people in a way that they're able to be reached. So there's so much support that is coming from the community as a whole, to help you as an individual learn how to be part of our crusade. So I encourage you, if you're looking for a purpose, whether you're young, whether you're retired, you know, we love you all. Whether you have things that you feel might be a restricting hindrance. I mean, I have a gentleman, Dr. Wallach, that is blind, who can use the computer and talk to people and has supervised call centers and is just so excited to be able to use his skills to help other people.
It's a beautiful story. Thank you.
It is, absolutely, absolutely. Okay, now there's another thing I want to get back to, and that has to go, you touched on the parathyroid.
Mm-hmm.
So we have most of us have 4 parathyroid glands. Now, I have a woman who is 67. She's 145 pounds, at 5'4". And she went to the doctor and they did an exam and some blood work, and shows that she has a blocked parathyroid and they're wanting to surgically remove it. And she also has Meniere's disease. So from listening to you, we're definitely looking at osteoporosis
Of the skull.
Because of the Meniere's. But what would you recommend as a full protocol for her that would then address a clogged parathyroid, or that's putting too, and also too much calcium in the blood, as you mentioned?
Okay, so at 145 pounds, she's right at that cusp. So, and she's got something that's, you know, potentially dangerous over time. So let's, you know, Meniere's disease, it's kind of like, it tells you she got osteoporosis of the skull. She's got dizziness and ringing in the ears and all that kind of stuff. She also, because it's a mineral thing, it's a calcium thing, it's a magnesium thing, it's a phosphorus thing, it's a sulfur thing. And so it's one of these things where we have to come at this a little bit strong. So I want her to get rid of all the bad foods to maximize absorption, no fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, no glutens, no wheat, bran, rye, and oats. I'm going to have to press something here, and I hope I don't take me off the air. Okay. Okay, I'm still on. Yay. Okay.
You're still on.
Yeah. None of the bad foods. And then I want her to take 2 healthy brain and heart packs per month, 2 healthy brain and heart packs per month, a full dose of everything twice a day. And then I want her to get 2 bottles a month of our MSM. So she can take 3 at breakfast, 3 at lunch, 3 at dinner time. And they're going to support and promote maintenance repair of cartilage, ligaments, tendons, connective tissue, disc between the vertebrae, bone matrix, which includes the immune system, because the bone marrow makes white blood cells, including T lymphocytes, which go and kill and eat viruses and bacteria and fungus. It also makes stem cells and antibodies, also red blood cells, and let's see here, platelets. Okay, and so I want to make sure that's all good. And I want her also to take the Beyond Osteo FX. Okay, she can take 2 servings of that a day. It comes in liquid or powder. And then we also have the see here, peptides, the collagen peptides, and which is actually collagen from sheep, beef, fish, and poultry. So she can take two servings of that. That comes, to my knowledge, it's only in powder, comes in a big tall canister. And I take 2 scoops of that twice a day in my drinks. Okay. And then also, because the parathyroid and the thyroid gland kind of eat the same stuff, so to speak, I want her to have 2 other products. One is called Ocean's Gold, which comes from one ocean. It's got like 8 or 9 different algae and seaweeds and plankton in it for all the trace minerals in there. That's going to help her bone marrow make good stuff, including the white blood cells and antibodies and so forth. Then she also needs 2 bottles a month of our Fucoid Z, which is from the other ocean. Okay, and it has 8 or 9 different seaweeds and algae and plankton and stuff like that in there. Also, all these different trace minerals and things. And so I think that'll be a good program for her, and that'll take care of parathyroids, the thyroid, the brain, the skeletal system, and the doctors, they never understand osteoporosis of the skull because they don't believe there's such a thing as osteoporosis in the skull. They believe only osteoporosis occurs in the vertebrae and the long bones of the body. The original writings in human pathology literature is called Paget's disease, where the skull, instead of being a quarter of an inch thick, which is normal, is an inch thick. But Dr. Paget thought this was all due to an autoimmune. This is when they were first talking about autoimmune diseases. So he blamed it on an autoimmune disease where the body's attacking the skull. No, it was osteoporosis of the skull. And so we have a book, it's called It's All in Your Head, goes into the 25 different diseases you get from osteoporosis of the skull. And so I want everybody, every family, and of course, holidays coming up, would be a great gift for the holidays, for a family, for a child, for mom or dad, grandma, auntie, uncle, kids, grandkids, All in Your Head, a great book. And it's not big, but it covers the 25 different diseases that occur when you get osteoporosis of the skull. And it really, really is a lifesaver, literally a lifesaver.
So this is not big at all, folks. It's a very quick read, very, very right to the point. Right to the point, and all the different conditions that are associated with osteoporosis of the skull.
Yeah, this was meant, Rebecca, to be like an add-on chapter to the book Hell's Kitchen. So this would be like an add-on chapter to that book.
That one?
Okay, yeah. So this is an add-on chapter to that book because that book goes into the cause, prevention, and cure of obesity, diabetes, high blood pressure, metabolic syndrome. And so that's a big mouthful, the cause, prevention, and cure of those things. And then you throw in this extra chapter, It's All in Your Head. Okay, so now you're talking about a complete new look at the human body that the medical system has totally thrown in the trash can.
Yeah. Well, and I love the fact that chapter 18 in this book has some amazing recipes. which I absolutely love. And then your newest, the cookbook, that has over 300 pages of recipes. It's just absolutely incredible. There is absolutely no excuse for anybody to say, oh, it's not possible to go gluten-free, or you can't eat any food because it doesn't have flavor unless it has gluten. I've heard that so many times, Dr. Wallach, and I'm like,
Well, that's what those three chefs that challenged me when I was lecturing through Canada for many years, and they accosted me and said, "Hey, Wallach, you can't be saying this. We've been using gluten, and wheat, butter, and oats forever in cooking, and oils and cooking forever." I said, "Well, here's a stack of my recipes. Let's try them out." And because these were professional chefs, they had TV programs, and they cook for big hotels, and they own their own restaurants and all this kind of stuff. And so after 3 years, and we would give the people who would buy our meals, we'd give them a questionnaire, and they'd fill it out and leave it at the front desk. At the counter, they'd check out and pay and leave, but they'd leave that questionnaire filled out. And we use that after 3 years of collecting those questionnaires and cooking for these big restaurants and everything. Those three chefs and myself, we wrote this book called Dr. Wallach's Cooking Without the Bad Foods. As you say, 300 pages, and this is standard size type. This is not 2-inch thick type. This is the standard type, and so you're getting really an enormous amount of information in that book. 300 pages of gluten-free, frying food-free, oil-free cooking. And I'm getting so much positive feedback on this book. People are going crazy. Now I'm free because I can eat whatever I want as long as I cook it Doc's way.
that's right. That's right. It's fabulous. And you can find these books, the Hell's Kitchen, it's all in your head, and Dr. Wallach's cookbook, all on AskDocLive.com. Look for Doc's books, and you will find his most popular, including these. They're on our website of Ask Doc Live. I also want to remind you that as you're listening to this program, or you're actually asking Dr. Wallach questions yourself, go ahead and listen, pay attention to what he's saying. If you miss writing down a product, that's okay, because we have all of our replays there on our website at AskDocLive.com. So we want to make sure that you have the information that you need, and also share those videos. That's what we do this for, is so that you have a resource that you can share with other people to help them know how empowered they actually can be over their own health. So it's fabulous, Dr. Wallach, that we have the internet that reaches www, World Wide Web, that really truly does allow us to be able to reach around the world, anyone that has access. So without further ado, we have some hands up, Dr. Wallach.
Okay.
And I would like to first go to Mike. Mike, go ahead and unmute yourself. And let me get you up here. You are on live with Dr. Wallach.
I'm on the air. Thank you, Doc, Rebecca, and staff for all your good work.
Aren't they great?
They are great. I got a tough one for you.
Okay.
142 pounds, 5'11", 68 years old. I had recovered from AML with the FLT3 mutation, then a transplant, and I was the first patient ever 100% off pharmaceuticals. And then 10 months ago, severe anxiety reared its ugly head, and I've tried TMS. That worked really good at first, and I relapsed. Now I'm ECT and a couple of pharmaceuticals, and I've been on the 90 probably since 2014, 15. So
Okay, I have two questions.
sure.
What is IML?
AML, leukemia, amyloid,
okay.
myeloid.
Myelocytic leukemia. Okay.
And the FLT3 is the worst of the 8 mutations. So it was a long shot to get through that, and then the transplant was no party either.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, of course, you have to take all those immune suppressors and all that kind of stuff. Now, you have a telltale problem here. You have white hair. Do you have any varicose veins or hemorrhoids?
Never hemorrhoids. I do have some varicose veins on the lower part of my left leg. Yes.
Okay, all right. Well, the varicose veins and the white hair are both caused by the same nutritional deficiency. They're not aging, they're a nutritional deficiency. If you've been on the supplements for that long and you still have white hair and you still have varicose veins, that means you're eating some gluten. That means you were eating some gluten in the past. Okay, whether it was oatmeal for breakfast or if it was flour tortillas, if it was beer made from wheat, I mean, whatever it was, you're getting some gluten somewhere and you're not able to efficiently absorb all those nutrients. So you need to sit down and go through everything in the household, everything you eat, everything you drink, and make sure there's no gluten in it, no wheat, no barley, rye, oats. Okay, you can't even say the word. They're your worst enemy right now. Okay, then I want you to also get a hold of that book, Dr. Wallach's Cooking Without the Bad Foods. If you haven't gotten that book yet, okay, good.
I have everything you've done. I have.
Okay, good man. All right, all right. Then, but you have to use it. Okay. Then I also, and again, this is for the rest of our listening audience, at 142 pounds, you're right at that cusp, but because you have, a potential problem here from a bone marrow cancer, I want you to have 2 healthy brain and heart packs per month, 2 healthy brain and heart packs per month. And if they're back ordered, just get 2 of the healthy start packs and add the powdered BTT 2.0 or BTT 2.5 to it. Okay. And you'll make your own healthy brain and heart pack. Okay. Don't forget the selenium. I want you to take 3 of our selenium twice a day, not selenium from Walgreens or the Kroger's. I want you to get our selenium because it has the 5 cofactors in there that are necessary. And 2 of those cofactors will actually change the color of your hair and get rid of the varicose veins. And so you need to take at least 3 of those of our selenium with those 5 cofactors twice a day. That'll be 2 bottles a month. And when that hair color begins to come back, you're absorbing the nutrients. It might take you 2 to 6 weeks to be able to, if you're on some gluten someplace, you need to get rid of it. If you like beer, well, there's a lot of beer made from rice. Okay, from Australia, New Zealand, Asia, Japan, China, and so forth. And so there's actually a couple of beer manufacturers here in the United States that make a couple of beers made from rice. Okay, so you don't have to worry about the gluten in beer if beer is your thing. All right, and then I also want you to use our Rebound or sports drink. No soft drinks, even the diet ones got to go because it's the carbonation and the soft drinks are equally as important to get rid of as is the sugar and the caffeine and all that kind of stuff. Our Rebound or sports drink has 100 nutrients in it, 75 minerals and 25 vitamins, amino acids. A guy like you could take 2 or 3 a day, but I want you to appreciate you cannot take it after 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon because it might keep you up all night. And so that's something. And then 2 last things, because of leukemia specifically, we have a product called Killer Biotic. It's made from the reishi mushrooms and other 5 or 6 other mushrooms that support your immune system, relieve inflammation and pain. Take 3 of those twice a day. That's 2 bottles a month. That's Killer Biotic.
3 per day.
3 twice a day. That's 2 bottles a month.
3 times. Okay.
Yeah. And then I also want you to take 3 twice a day, the BTT 2.0 tablets, which are not interchangeable with the BTT 2.0 powder. The powder is vitamins and minerals. The tablets are built to support your immune system and be an anti-inflammatory and also relieve pain and discomfort. Okay, so I want you to take 3 of those twice a day. And if you wanted to, it wouldn't hurt you to take 3 times a day. And they're big bottles, so you can take 2 bottles a month. And you can pull that off 3 times a day of the MSM. That's going to help you considerably because, of course, you want to make your bone marrow happy. You want to make your bones happy. And the MSM will surely help you do that. Okay.
That's a BTT 2.0. Take 3 times a day.
That's the tablets. That is correct.
Yes.
But don't forget the MSM. 3
that.
times. Yeah, 3 times a day. That will also, help you with the health of just the plain bone maintenance and function.
I actually had a little bit hair color start to come back before the last hospital stay. Of course, they feed you to kill you in a hospital.
That's correct.
So now it's it's rebuild time, but the anxiety and trying to get the nervous system to shut toned down is really,
Yeah, well, if once you know you're doing everything right, then your nervous system should be happy. Okay. And that's why I like the rebound. It gives you energy and it always keeps you up, not up from sleeping, but up emotionally. Okay. And I only weigh 142 and I drink 2 of those a day, the rebounds.
and I have that.
Okay.
I appreciate your help. Let's see what happens.
Okay. Yeah, keep us informed. Call us every couple of weeks. Call us every time you go to the doctor and get some kind of status report. And we may have to tweak something, but this is a good start. Okay.
Perfect. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, Mike, for coming on with us. And let's go to the next question, and that's Sarah W. Sarah, go ahead and unmute yourself.
Okay, hi, I guess I'm unmuted.
Yep.
Hi, Doc Walker, thank you so much. I really appreciate you taking the time to do this.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm 5'9". I weigh 140 pounds, and I just recently turned 70 years old. I'm dealing with acid reflux. It's the throat burn kind, not the heartburn. And it seems to be causing occasional aspiration into my lungs. So I get some lung infection, inflammation. I'm not sure if it's infection or inflammation. I've got decreased sensation, numbness in my shins and my feet. I do have spider veins. I get a little bit of swelling in my ankles at the end of the day. I've got Raynaud's. I've got dry skin. I've got some arthritis in my thumb, and overnight I get some cramping in my calves and my feet. And that's my list.
Okay. Now, do you have any ringing or tinnitus in your ears?
No, I do not.
Do you have any balance or dizziness issues?
I've sometimes had a little bit of lightheadedness, or it feels a little bit of balance issues.
Okay. Now, do you ever sit on the couch, an hour after eating dinner and fall asleep on the couch?
No.
Okay,
Later
good.
in the evening, I'll fall asleep, but not right after dinner.
Okay, so you do fall asleep later in the evening, maybe an hour, 2 hours after dinner?
A few hours after dinner, yeah.
Okay, okay. Do you have any pre-diabetes or diabetes?
No, I do not.
Okay, we have a reactive hypoglycemia, I believe. Okay. That's why you get sleepy an hour after you eat dinner, because your body's releasing insulin and it's knocking
Right.
your blood sugar down, right? Okay, too far, knocking it down too far. And then that's
It's
called
quite a number of hours after. Like if I finished eating at 6, it's maybe around 8 o'clock. Well, 9 o'clock that I'm falling asleep.
Okay. And then let's see here. Everybody else in the household, what time do they go to bed?
They're going to bed like 10:30 or 11.
So you're falling asleep an hour or two before they go to sleep.
Yep.
Okay. Okay. And I think you probably have, like you say, reactive hypoglycemia
Okay.
or pre-diabetes or both. All right. And so here we go. And see, 140 pounds again, you're right at that cusp. The odds are you have osteoporosis of the head, squeezing the 9th cranial nerve, the glossopharyngeal nerve, which is as glossopharyngeal, you're talking about the tongue and the throat. Okay.
So is that what
Okay,
would be causing the acid reflux?
That's correct. Well, acid reflux is caused by squeezing of the 10th cranial nerve. Okay. It's called gastroparesis. Okay. And again, you want to get a hold of that book. It's all in your head because you have at least 2 or 3 nerves that are being squeezed. Cranial nerves are being squeezed by your skull. Okay. And so here we go. None of the bad foods, no fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, no glutens, no wheat, brown, rye, oats, no sugar, no carbonated drinks. Even the diet one's got to go because the carbonation is bad because it'll neutralize your stomach acid, which you want. You want stomach acid. So you don't want any bacteria growing in your stomach, which contributes to fermentation and gas and belching and burping and all that kind of stuff. And then I want you to have 2 healthy brain and heart packs per month, the full dose, everything twice a day. I want you to get 2 bottles a month of our MSM, so you can take 3 with each meal. They're going to support and promote maintenance repair, cartilage, ligaments, tendons, connective tissue, disc, vertebrae, bone matrix, including the skull. Okay. And then I also want you to have, let's see here, the, let's go with the Fucoid Z capsules, 3 of those twice a day. That's 2 bottles a month. That's going to give you some of the rare earths and trace minerals that are necessary for your bone marrow to make a very good antibodies and hemoglobin and that kind of stuff. And the varicose veins should go away. Your hair color should start coming back. And you know you're absorbing, because the hair color and varicose veins have nothing to do with age. This is due just to a nutritional deficiency, okay? Because I get kids, you know, like when Michael Jackson was only 5, 6 years old, he had vitiligo in his skin. He lost his skin color, and he also lost his hair color when he was 5, 6 years old. And the doctor said it was a genetic thing, and they didn't change his diet. And he died at 51 from a ruptured aortic aneurysm, because aneurysms of the brain and aorta are caused by the same deficiency that causes the gray hair and the veins problems, okay? So you're getting a red warning light here, so we want you to deal with that. And of course, MSM will also help you with this low back thing that's going on, that's causing all this stuff going on in your feet and legs. Okay, it's called a, you have a referral problem here from your back, okay? And so this is a form of sciatica you have, because you have a low back issue also, the discs between the vertebrae. Have you shrunk any in height since you were, 20 years old?
Half an inch or an inch.
Yeah, so you're kind of going that direction, and the vertebrae are getting closer together, smashing the roots of those sciatic nerves, okay? That's what's going on here. Okay, so give us a call every couple of weeks. Give us a call every time you visit the doctor, and he gives you some kind of pontification, and we'll walk you through this, okay?
Okay, and what you said, glucose caps, is that what you said?
Okay, so
Glucogel
see,
cap.
yeah, glucogel caps,
Gluco-
but also you need the Ultimate Daily Classic tablets, for helping you with blood flow through blocked arteries in the brain and the heart and the legs and the kidneys and so on, which can contribute to that reactive hypoglycemia.
And how many of those?
3 twice a day is 2 bottles a month.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you very much. I appreciate it very much.
Well, you're very welcome. But your story, which is very common, your testimony is going to help a lot of people. So please do call us toll free, so it doesn't cost you anything.
Got it.
Call. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Thank you, Sarah. Dr. Wallach, next, let's go to Rod, who has a guest on with him as well. Rod, go ahead and unmute yourself. You are on live with Dr. Wallach.
How you doing, Dr. Wallach?
Okay, sir. How can we help you?
Great, great. I have my friend Bernard here who want to explain his situation right quick.
Hey, thank you for your time, Bob. 6'1", about 195, 200 pounds. I've had a lot of problems with bone issues. A broken ankle, left ankle 4 times. Both patella kneecaps have been broken. A lot of lower back disc, vertebral problems, and a lot of in terms of cramping, as well as sciatic nerve in terms of my IT bands. It's just that thing just keeps going on and on and on. So trying to figure out what can we do to sort of correct some of this.
Okay, what was that last one again?
Dealing with sciatic nerve, from the back, the sciatic nerve in the hips, just constantly locking up to the point that it bends me to the right sometimes, and it takes a week or so to unlock.
Sure. Okay, let's see. I didn't get your age. How old are you?
51.
51. Okay, yeah. Okay.
Very active, yes.
Okay, well, active is good. But again, you need to get rid of all the bad foods so you can maximize absorption, right? No
Right.
fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, no glutens, no wheat, bran, no sugar, no carbonated drinks. Even the diet one's got to go. And people always say, well, how long do I have to stay on that diet? Well, here's your question. How long do you require oxygen?
I got it. Yeah.
Okay. How long do you require water?
I got it. Yeah.
Okay. So same way here. So you need to stay on this diet forever. You'll add 25 to 50 healthy years to your life if you do this. If you don't do it, you'll die early, like Colin Powell did. This guy had everything. One of my heroes. And but he died because I guarantee you he was eating gluten, and he may have been taking a vitamin mineral. He may have been taking something like Centrum with 27 nutrients in it.
Right.
He was only 33 short. No, excuse me, 63 short. He was 63 short.
Wow.
Okay. Okay. So at 200 pounds, I want you to take 2 healthy brain and heart packs per month, a full dose of everything twice a day. I want you also to take 2 bottles a month of our MSM. So you can take 3 at breakfast, 3 at lunch, 3 at dinner, and they will support and promote maintenance repair of cartilage, ligaments, tendons, connective tissue, disc between the vertebrae, very important here, because we want to push the vertebrae apart. So
Right.
it takes the pressure off those sciatic nerves, right? So you don't get this low back issue and the sciatica, referred pain and all that kind of stuff. Then I also want you to get our vitamin D3, take 3 of those twice a day, that's 2 bottles a month. I want you to take our collagen peptides, take 2 doses of that a day. I take 2 scoops at breakfast in my drink and 2 scoops at dinner time in my drink. Gosh, I've been doing that for 2 years since we came out with them. But before that, I was taking 5 of our capsules of our glucogel, which I still do, even with the collagen peptides. And then don't forget our Beyond OsteoFX. Go ahead and take 2 servings of that a day. And I said the vitamin D3, 3 of those twice a day. And I think that's where we want to go. Don't forget the vitamin D3, 3 of those twice a day. All right. And you don't have any other issues? Do you have any diabetes, pre-diabetes, any high blood pressure? Are you on dialysis?
No, none of those things. It's just that I recently had just a hernia. I had the surgery repair, but I do have some abdominal. Maybe the gluten, like you're saying, because I noticed it's really been an onset dealing with the stomach issues, and I'm thinking removing of the gluten may be a big issue. I've been sort of monitoring what I'm eating, but that sort of is like a trigger for me. I'm noticing.
Yes. Well, no human being can tolerate gluten. No vertebrate of any species can tolerate gluten.
Wow. Okay.
Okay. Now, back in the old days, the days of the Garden of Eden, there was no gluten in the Garden of Eden. There was no wheat, butter, rye, and oats in the Garden of Eden.
Wow. Wow.
Okay. That only came later when the Egyptians started growing wheat. And they're still killing the Hebrews with the wheat.
I got you.
Okay.
Right.
All right. So, but keep in touch because you're going to have a great story because your story is common. This is a common set of problems that people have when they eat gluten and don't supplement completely. You know, people say, well, I take vitamin C. Well, you're 89 short.
Right. Wow. Okay.
Well, my doctor said I can get everything I need from just eating well. Well, your doctor should go to jail for that because everybody he tells that to, he's killing them. And
Right.
he should go to jail for multiple manslaughter when he says, just eat well, you get everything you need. Don't waste your money on vitamins and minerals. The reason why we have the most expensive healthcare system in the world. We spend more money for healthcare than all the countries in the world combined. And yet we only rank 48th in the world when it comes to longevity. We rank 48th. There's 47 other countries who live longer than us. When you take just the industrialized nations, we rank 18th in longevity. We're the bottom of all the industrialized nations. If our healthcare system is so good, how come we're so low? Our average lifespan is 75. Japan is 84. Australia is 83. New Zealand is 82. How come we're only 75? Gluten alert and no vitamins and minerals.
Right. Okay. Well, thank you so much for your time, and I'm definitely going to get this done, and I'll look forward and give you a great testimony. Okay.
Okay. God bless you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Bernard and Rod. And we definitely want to hear some updates, Bernard, because I know you're going to be experiencing some amazing results, especially since you're getting it. You're getting, how gluten, and you even mentioned it to yourself, that your body doesn't react well. And I mean, it's a protein our bodies don't know how to break down and push through the system. So thank you, Dr. Wallach. It's break time. Are you ready for a break?
Yes, ma'am. Top of the hour.
All right, let's do this. So everybody, thank you again for joining us here on Ask Doc Live. We are going to be taking a quick 5-minute break or less. So get up and stretch, fill those cups. If you have some of our collagen, it has no odor, well, unless you get the flavored creamer version of it, there's no flavor to it. So whatever drink you are mixing or having in the morning, hot or cold, you can mix that collagen peptide in there. So again, get back with the person that invited you to watch this program. If nobody invited you and you have questions and you're listening to one of our replays or not quite have the gumption to get up and raise your hand and ask questions live, go ahead and go to askdoclive.com and click on the Contact Us. We do have a team of certified holistic health coaches who will get back to you and help you also get the products that you need to meet your health goals. So I will be right back. Don't go away. All right, I hope all of you had a great break and made some good movement there. We want to make sure that we keep those fluids moving throughout the body. And when we're getting those fluids moving throughout the body, we want to make sure that they have the nutrients that the body needs to be able to absorb and have that optimal function. You know, as Dr. Wallach has mentioned, you know, your body needs 90 essential nutrients. And in the brain and heart pack, we add some extras so that you're getting 215 nutrients to support the body and function. And that's at the cellular level, every part of the body. We don't just treat symptoms. We actually know that the body is a complete system. It works together, and we want to make sure you're getting not just the information you need, but also quality supplementation that'll help you reach those optimal goals. So Dr. Wallach, welcome
Yes,
back
ma'am.
from the break.
Can you hear
go ahead
me?
and go to, I can hear you great.
Okay.
Yeah, let's go ahead and go back to the hands that are here with us today.
Okay.
Our live audience. Let's go to Sam. Sam, go ahead and unmute yourself. You are on live with Dr. Wallach.
I am unmuted. All right. Hey, Doc. Thank you again.
Hey, Sam.
Great to be here. You are an inspiration, sir. So,
Well, thank you.
Thank you. Couple quick questions. My friend Barbara is asking me this. She's here now. Do you ever know of a primary care physician that might prescribe something in longevity? This way her insurance could pay for it.
We
Great
do
question.
have a handful of medical doctors and DOs. I mean, literally a handful, just 4 or 5 or 6. Okay. And what state does Barbara live
Indiana.
in?
Indiana.
But near
Indiana.
Chicago. Near Chicago.
Indiana, Illinois border. Near
Okay.
Chicago. Yeah.
Okay. All right. I'll check it out and I'll let Rebecca know.
Yeah. Oh
Okay.
boy, that would be
Thank
awesome.
you, thank you.
And then another question I have, I've got 2 of my customers that are preferring the pills. And so is there any way that the Beyond Tangy or the minerals and the OsteoFX can ever come in a tablet form?
We do have the minerals in a capsule.
Right? Yes. Okay.
Okay, we have the minerals in a capsule.
How about OsteoFX?
OsteoFX, let's see here. Beyond Osteo, yeah, we do have it. We have the powder, you know, the little
Powder.
sticks.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I just have to work on them and changing their habit. You got to mix it.
Mhm.
And then last quick question I have. So a good friend of mine is 56 years old, 190 pounds. He should probably be about 170. Leg issues and sleeping at nighttime. I've already told him it's, osteoporosis of your skull. I'm sure part of it is. And what else would you recommend?
She could have some low back issues. Okay, I'm hearing an echo here somewhere. Okay, low back issues, and so at 190 pounds, I want her to get rid of all the bad foods: no fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, no glutens, no wheat butter, rhinos, no sugar, no carbonated drinks. Even the diet one's got to go. I want her to have 2 healthy brain and heart packs per month, a full dose, everything twice a day. I want her to get 2 bottles a month of the MSM, so you can take 3 with each meal. And they're going to support and promote maintenance repair of cartilage, ligaments, tendons, connective tissue, discs between the vertebrae, bone breaks the bone itself. And also, I want her to have the vitamin D3, 3 of those twice a day to help absorb the minerals and put them in the bones in the right places. Also, she should have the Beyond Osteo FX. Again, it comes in either capsules or in the sticks, and also in just the big powder and the big bucket, so to speak. Let's see here. I want her to have the Collagen Peptides. She could take 2 scoops of that twice a day. I only weigh 142, and I'd take 2 scoops twice a day. The collagen peptides, 2 at breakfast and 2 at dinner time. And then, let's see here, I think that's going to cover it. Give that a shot, and then, you know, every couple of weeks, give us a report, because oftentimes just within 2 to 4 weeks, they see a recognizable benefit. Okay. Also, if she has gray hair, her hair color will start coming back, and that way she knows she's absorbing. All right. Now, if she wants to lose weight faster, she will lose weight just by getting rid of the bad foods. But if she wants to lose weight faster, she's 5'6". I'd like to see her weigh 150. So she needs to lose about 40 pounds. She could get 3 boxes of our keto bars. There's only 10 bars in a box. So to have 1 bar a day, okay, 1 meal a day. And these are meal replacers. They're not to add to a meal, but they're a meal replacer. 1 keto bar and 1 serving of the Rebound at a meal. Okay. Some people, after a month or 2, they like to go to 2 meals twice a week, say 2 days out of the week. They don't have to be next door to each other days, but to two meals a day. And then the other 5 days stick with 1 meal a day, the keto bar. And they will lose a half a pound to 2 pounds a day. I get people, the record is 1,400 pounds for males, 1,200 pounds for females. And we get them, and we get them. And we get them. If you want some fun, go to Siri and ask Siri, show me pictures of a 1,200-pound woman. Show me pictures of a 1,400-pound man. It will blow your mind.
I'm gonna do that.
Yeah. And so, but we see thousands. We see thousands every month who are 400 to 500 pounds.
So, Dr. Wallach, I just want to point something out, and it's something that I've noticed since Sam has been joining us, is his hair is getting darker.
My hair is getting darker, isn't it? Oh my God.
It is.
I'm gonna start taking more.
There you go.
Yeah. Yeah. And so you're not coloring your hair. It's just your natural hair color coming.
No, I don't color my hair. And I have to say one thing, you know, from how I'm feeling, what I'm knowing, you better believe I want to have another 60 or 70 more years, okay? With what's happening on this
Okay, let's go
planet
for
today.
it. Well, I'm
Let's go for
83. I'm 83, and most people think I'm 50 when they look at me.
Absolutely.
And I can still kick butt, you know, send 3 guys after me with bare fists.
That's like my kind of guy. Good. Thank you.
Awesome.
Love you. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Sam. God bless. Welcome to the family.
Sam.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
Barbara.
Thank you.
So next, let's go to the next hand up, and it is Mike. Mike, let's go ahead and ask you. Oh, now ask Mike to unmute. You're on live with Dr. Wallach, Mike.
Hey, Doc, you're great.
Oh, thank you so much, Mike. What's up?
So I just got a couple of questions about the vitamins. You know, I have the vitamin D3, and I've been listening to you mention to eat 3 of those twice a day. So I guess you can't take too much of the vitamin D3.
Ours, you couldn't afford to do that. You couldn't afford, you know, I mean, you'd have to buy a truckload to do you any harm.
Right. Okay, I was just curious about that.
Yeah. I only weigh
Because it's a lot of
142. And
milligrams.
yeah. I only take, let's see here. I only weigh 142, 143. And I sit in the sun for a half hour, at least 2 days a week here in California, Southern California. So I'm getting a lot of direct sun, plus my vitamin D3 capsules. Plus I get vitamin D3 in the Healthy Brain and Heart Pack and so forth. And so I get a lot of vitamin D3. And I have all my own teeth. I only had 1 tooth knocked out in a fight. 3 guys tried to take my packages at a mall, and they were not happy what I did to them. But the guy started it, but he hit me in the face and knocked out 1 tooth. But that's the only tooth I'm missing. I'm 83 years old and I have all my own teeth, no receding gums. I don't have any osteoporosis of the skull. And so, but at any rate, yeah, that was kind of interesting. It set the whole mall crazy.
Right. I've been taking your products for over a year. I'm 61, 5'8", 187 pounds now. I was weighing 240 when I started.
Oh, okay.
I heard your show on George Norrie. And
Yeah,
I got up in the middle of the night. Yeah. I got up and started taking all the information down, and And I went on your website and I got your products and I started taking them and I stopped eating gluten. And that was one of my other questions. I never totally figured out this gluten thing. Why is gluten in the food? How does that happen?
Okay, well, gluten came to us through grain. Okay, and of course, during the times of the Old Testament and the New Testament, Egypt was one. They had the most valuable river, the Nile. They had 27 minerals in it, and they had the best crops in the world. And they were selling and trading their wheat all over the world, even at that time, thousands of years ago. And so people got to eating grain because it was a lot easier to grow grain than it was to handle cattle and sheep and pigs and, you know, all that kind of stuff. And so farmers just got into growing wheat, barley, rye, and oats. And then they began to ferment it and make beer and wine and whiskey out of it, I guess, not wine, but whiskey, okay, out of it. And so it became a marketable farm product. But gluten produces a substance that actually is a very caustic, and it actually kills the villi, the little finger-like projections in your intestine. So your intestine, instead of looking like a shag rug after, say, a couple of years of eating gluten, your intestines look like a plastic tube. You lose 98 to 100% of your absorbed surface. And that's why people, you know, that's why kids do pretty good, because, you know, if they've only been eating gluten for 6 months or a year or two, and they get the COVID, they don't have any problems because their immune systems are still working. And usually kids under age 6, before they go to school, before they go to kindergarten, you know, preschool, they're getting vitamin drops and mineral drops and stuff like that from the pediatrician. But once they go to school, okay, you're a big boy now. You don't need to, you know, need to take your vitamins and minerals. Just eat like mama and grandma, okay, kind of thing. But they should be getting more vitamins and minerals because they're playing sports and all that kind of stuff. And don't forget the Rebound or sports drink with 100 nutrients in it for those kids. We do have a thing for kids. It's called Kids Toddy. It's our version of the Healthy Brain and Heart Pack for kids, with the exception it doesn't have the EFAs in there, so you have to give them the EFAs. And if they're too young to chew them up and swallow them, you can just puncture those soft gel capsules and squish them into their liquid, and they'll get them that way. But you have to take care of those kids as well. Just not you and me. We got to take care of ourselves, but we also got to take care of the kids.
Right. I got an 11-year-old and I've been giving him some stuff too. And I noticed he's doing a lot better at school.
Oh yeah.
You know,
absolutely.
He's paying attention more and he's focusing more.
And he's remembering more.
Yes, he is. I mean, it really works. I'm off all my medications now. I was on blood pressure pills for almost 25 years.
Wow.
And yeah. And now my blood pressure is 100/70.
Yeah, we get thousands of people. We get thousands of people off their medication every week all over the world. I think we're picking up 10 new countries. We actually acquired another company to join our Youngevity family of companies. So we acquired another company, and we picked up so many peoples in, you know, about 10 new countries that we haven't been at, you know, really, we don't have warehouses and stuff like that. So within the next 6 months or a year, we'll have warehouses in those places. And we're growing like crazy all over the world. But again, if you want to have some fun, go ask Siri to show you pictures of 1,000-pound, a 1,200-pound woman and 1,000-pound, 1,400-pound man. It will blow your mind.
Okay, great. Thanks, Doc. Thanks for all you do.
Thank you, Mike.
All right. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
All right. Thank you, Mike. Now, Dr. Wallach, I have a young mama. She's 37 years old. She is 5'4", 300 pounds, and she has 5 babies at home. And just this week was diagnosed positive for invasive carcinoma in the left breast. And they also found soft tissue cores in her lymph nodes.
Okay.
So what is going to be the best place to get her started, Dr. Wallach?
Okay. Well, she's got many problems here, right? And
Yes.
if I were her, I'd be aggressive on the breast cancer thing. Okay. Even if she's only 37 years old, it can end badly if she doesn't pay attention.
And
I've
one
actually
thing I
had-
didn't mention, she just buried her husband 3 months ago from colon cancer.
Well, there you go. So, you know, it's the diet. Okay. It's the diet in the household. No fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, no gluten, no wheat, butter, rye, oats, because she's setting up those kids for a bad time, right? They're going to have the same problem. And so needs to get rid of all those bad foods, no fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, no gluten, no wheat, butter, rye, oats, no sugar, no carbonated drinks. You know, the diet one's got to go. So they need to be put on the rebound right away with 100 nutrients in it. If some of these kids are under 6 years of age and don't want to take a lot of pills, tablets, and capsules and powders and all that kind of stuff, they will love the kids' toddy. It tastes good. They love it. The directions for weight dosage is on the back label. So it's easy. They also need the EFAs to go along with the kids' toddy. That way they get all 90 essential nutrients. And then, of course, we also have the liquid Beyond Osteo. Wouldn't hurt, especially if they're in dance classes or they're doing all kinds of exercise things. They need the Beyond Osteo FX. Again, it comes in a liquid. We have the Flexi Cure. It's a liquid. You can get 2 doses a day out of 1 bottle for a month. Okay. It tastes good. It's in a lemonade and a limeade drink. Okay. And it has all these wonderful minerals in there. And it takes the place of the old bone broth we used to make by putting chicken bones and fish bones and beef bones and vinegar and putting them on the stove and letting them simmer all night. And then you drink the broth in the morning and get the liquefied collagen from the cartilage and ligaments and tendons and bone and all that kind of stuff. Well, Flexi Cure is a lot simpler. You don't have to have a wood stove to do that one. Okay, tastes good and kids love it. So at any rate, and it's easy when you have problems, you know, like Mama has here at 37 years old. But I was getting to, I have so many young women who got breast cancer and they made the move to have a double mastectomy. I mean, just a radical double mastectomy right away. Don't play around with it, okay? Because all it has to have is one cell escape and go to a lymph node, and then 3 years later or 3 months later, it pops up again because that one cell escaped. And so the women that I've seen go crazy and really become very aggressive, just had both breasts removed, it's 30 years later, they still haven't had a problem. And so that's an option that the doctors never bring up, because they'll make a little bit of money by the double mastectomy, but they miss out on treating you and treating you and treating you and treating you and treating you for years with chemotherapy and radiation and surgery and all that kind of stuff. And so they're into treating you for a long period of time. And that's how they put their kids through college. Okay, so I want you to think about that. So those are, that's an option you need to pray on and think about it. Because, you know, say 6 months or a year later, you know, they can put implants in if you don't want to just put a falsie in your bra and all that kind of stuff. And so, but the women who I have seen get very aggressive are some of my best friends. They are wonderful. They are good church-going people. And I think they made the right decision. So I hope that helps. Of course, we talked about the kids toddy and the EFAs and the rebound for the 6 kids. Okay, now to lose the weight, we have the rebound. We have the keto bars. She can start out with 3 boxes a month and have 1 keto meal a day. Doesn't have to be the same meal every day. And it's a meal replacer. The keto bar and the rebound is a meal replacer. It's not to be added to a meal. It's a meal replacer. And she will lose a 1/2 pound to 2 pounds a day. 5'4". I'd like to see her weigh 130. And so she needs to lose 170 pounds. And so she can do it, and she'll lose weight at about a 1/2 pound to 2 pounds a day doing it this way. But don't forget, she needs to take all these supplements so she's getting plenty of nutrition to heal her tissues and all that kind of stuff. But she should consider and ask the doctor, you know, and get another opinion from 2 or 3 doctors about a radical double mastectomy ASAP. Okay.
All right. Thank you so much for that information, Dr. Wallach. Greatly appreciate that. So we're definitely, we're working on the whole family, and I wanted to get your input and from your experience and knowledge. So thank you. Now, for all of you that are here with us today, if somebody invited you to watch this program, please get back with them. They took the time to reach out to you and share information to you that can be life-changing. And for those of you who were not referred to this program by anyone specific, you could go to our website, askdoclive.com, and you will find our shopping cart there that has, or our store there that has everything that Dr. Wallach is mentioning. It also has all of Dr. Wallach's most popular books there as well. And again, if you have questions about what it would be right for you, use the contact us, and one of our certified holistic health coaches will get back with you with a health evaluation that goes through all of the questions that Dr. Wallach would ask, and make sure that we're getting your specific concerns addressed. So Dr. Wallach, Ruth Ellen has a question for you.
Okay.
So, Ruth Ellen, you are on live with Dr. Wallach.
Hello, Dr. Wallach.
Don't I know you?
Yes, you do. I just want to say how much I love you and appreciate you and how much you have changed mine and my husband's life. So
Well, thank you. That's a beautiful thing. How can we help you today?
okay, so I wanted to jump in a little bit about the EFAs for kids, because we have the Smart FX, which is S period, M period, A period, R period, T period, if you were trying to look it up, because they're little and they're really good for kids' brains and they are easy for them to swallow.
Okay.
And then I have a client who is 46 years old. Let me see, I'm sorry, my screen timed out. She is, yes, 46 years old. She weighs 158 pounds and she's 5'2". She is been on your products with me for a year now and is doing great, but she has a lot of health issues. And one of them was she had bariatric surgery where they tied her esophagus in a little bow and they made it way too small. So that caused her some problems. She recently had surgery to undo that. I believe one of the reasons that they had done that was because she had severe acid reflux. She has SIBO, which is an overgrowth of bad bacteria that causes bad breath and bowel odors with her bowel movements. And so she recently had surgery and now the acid reflux has gotten really bad again. And she was just asking if there was something else that we could do. We have her on a Healthy Body Start Pack and nightly essence and some enzymes, and she's gluten-free 90% of the time she was in the hospital. And I don't think that they gave her completely gluten-free things. And on occasion, when you're out, even though they say it's gluten-free, something is not gluten-free, and then she has a reaction. But she has no varicose veins and no gray hair.
I probably don't believe you about the gray hair. She may be coloring her hair.
No, she's not. Maybe she can't see them. Maybe they're in the back of her head.
Okay. All right. So here we go. And again, this is for our listening audience because some of this you're already doing. But she needs to get rid of all the bad foods. No fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, no glutens, no wheat, bran, oats, no sugar, no carbonated drinks. Even the diet one's got to go. Because a lot of reflux is caused by fermentation going on in the stomach. When even if she's drinking like diet soda, the carbonation neutralizes it so that there's no acid there, so bacteria can grow and ferment the food, and that's why you get reflux. Also, you can get osteoporosis of the skull, squeezing the 10th cranial nerve, which causes gastroparesis, which causes reflux also, okay? And then if she has all this back problems and joint problems and stuff like that, in addition, to the, see here at 158 pounds, I wanted to have 2 healthy brain and heart packs per month, full dose of everything twice a day. I want her to have 2 bottles a month of our MSM, so I can take 3 with each meal. And they're going to support and promote maintenance repair, cartilage, ligaments, tendons, connective tissue, discs between the vertebrae, bone mixture, bone itself, which deals with the immune system, but as well as dealing with the spinal cord, the sciatic nerves, which deal with everything below the waist, including urination, pain. And sometimes they say, well, I don't have any pain until I lay down at night. Well, that's a positional thing. And that tells you that it's a back problem, okay? And then she also needs to have the vitamin D3, take 3 of those twice a day. That's 2 bottles a month. I also want her to have the Beyond OsteoFX. She can take 2 servings a day of that. It's either liquid or the powder. Okay. And also she needs the Collagen Peptides, 2 servings a day, twice a day, 2 servings twice a day. The collagen peptides, that's going to also help her rebuild cartilage and ligaments and tendons and connective tissue and discs between her vertebrae, bone, makes skin. I think that's one of the reasons why my skin looks so good for a guy 83 years old, is because I take so much collagen peptides and glucogel and all those kind of things. But it's also good for your arteries and veins, also the kidney function. And so you go that direction. And our Rebound as an energy and sports drink, with 100 nutrients in it. At 158 pounds, she could have 2 or 3 of those a day, but not after 4 or 5 o'clock at night, because it'll keep her up all night otherwise. I have my 2 or 3 before, say, 2 o'clock. I have one at breakfast, one at lunch, and one like after all my radio shows in the afternoon, kind of rebuild there for get ready for the evening stuff. And that's kind of where I would go with her. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
You bet. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. Thank you so much, Ruth Ellen. Now, for all of you that are here on live with us, if you have a question for Dr. Wallach, raise your hand. In the Zoom menu, it could be found under reactions. If you click on participants, you might find a little button that says raise hand there as well. Now would be a great time to do it. So, but I have lots of comments that have come in
Rebecca?
with questions.
Rebecca, I
that-
think that one of the ladies is trying to raise her hand.
Okay.
She's like waving, so I'll spotlight her. Okay.
Perfect. Thank you so much. I know sometimes finding that raised hand can be tricky, so we understand that. All right, you are on live with Dr. Wallach. Go ahead and unmute yourself and enter. What is your first name, my dear? So BNACOV. Go ahead and unmute yourself. There you go.
Hello, can you hear
You're
me?
on live with Dr. Wallach. We can hear you now.
Okay, great. Good morning. I have a question.
Okay.
I have a scheduled operation for cataract, and I just wonder if there's any minerals or anything that I can do from your point of view.
Okay, well, you need to get another opinion from another eye doctor to see if you really have cataracts. A lot of times people will get osteoporosis of the skull, which will squeeze the optic nerve, the optic artery, and the optic vein, and it'll give you symptoms of a cataract, but you really don't have a cataract. So I would get another opinion before you're going to, quote, get cataract surgery. Okay, I've had many wager with doctors. I have won many bottles of wine, and they had to pay for the customers' supplements because I was correct and they were wrong. I take people that are legally blind 6, 8, 10, 12 years because they had macular degeneration / cataracts, and I put them on our program. And in 90 days, all of them could read 20/20 without glasses. It freaked the doctors out, okay? Because they don't even consider osteoporosis of the skull as being contributory to blindness and edema in the eye and pressure in the eye and all that kind of stuff. They just, think it's a cataract or glaucoma or something like that. But osteoporosis of the skull squeezes that whole unit, the optic nerve, ONA, optic nerve atrophy, and the optic artery and the optic vein, and you get all these symptoms as a result. So that's a possibility. Do you have any ringing in your ears, any buzzing or noise in your ears?
Yes, I do.
Okay, yeah, then the odds are that your cataract, you want to get another opinion before you get the surgery. Okay,
All right.
because it may be osteoporosis of the skull squeezing the optic nerve, artery, and vein.
But I, you know, I went through a very thorough examination, and
Mhm.
this what they decided, and this what they told me.
I understand, but you got to go to another eye doctor and get another exam.
Oh, okay, I got it. And also,
Yeah,
before
get another opinion, okay? Because these guys see something, but how they interpret it could be 100% different. Okay?
I see, yeah. And also, before I go, I want to know that I cut my gluten and I lost my weight. It's perfect. And I used to have a sinus condition, and this condition is gone.
Good.
So
Well, I
no
want your-
gluten.
No gluten, and of course you want to take your 90. How much do you weigh?
I am 149 in my
149?
clothes. Yeah, 149, I'm 5'6".
Okay. Yeah, so I want you to get rid of all the bad foods, no fried foods, no processed meats,
I
no
don't,
oils, no
yes.
gluten.
Yeah.
Well, this is for a listening audience too, okay?
Mhm.
No gluten, no wheat, butter, rye, oats, no sugar, no carbonated drinks, even the diet one's got to go. And then at 149 pounds, I want you to have 2 healthy brain and heart packs a month, 2 full doses of everything twice a day. Get 2 bottles of our MSM, so you can take 3 with each meal, and that will support and promote maintenance repair, cartilage, ligaments, tendons, connective tissue, disc between the vertebrae, bone mixture, including the skull. Okay. And then I want you to take 2 bottles a month of our vitamin D3, take 3 of those capsules twice a day. Don't forget the collagen peptides, take 2 servings of that twice a day with your drink. And then don't forget our Beyond OsteoFX, take 2 servings of that, either the capsules or the powder or the liquid of the Beyond OsteoFX. That one's in 3 different forms. And so you can take 2 servings of that a day. I do all that. And again, it's one of those things where you do all this stuff and give me 90 days and see how much benefit you gain, okay, before you get the surgery. But get another
Absolutely.
opinion. Get another opinion, okay, from another eye doctor.
Thank you very much, doctor.
Okay. Do
Bye-bye.
widzenia.
No, there's do widzenia. I'm from Poland.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
All right, fabulous. So again, I would just want to point out to everybody that is listening to this program, if you have a condition that falls under any of the osteoporosis of the skull conditions, the protocol that Dr. Wallach just recommended is going to be helpful for a lot of those different conditions. I know I had a question come in the comments in regards to tinnitus, and Dr. Wallach has mentioned that protocol a few times on this show alone, and what's going to be beneficial for somebody that has that ringing in the ears, dizziness, imbalance problems. So I really want to make sure that it's everybody's understanding osteoporosis of the skull affects how many different diseases, Dr. Wallach?
25 different diseases.
And I mean, we're talking about AFib and COPD, reflux.
But isn't
bloating,
AFib a heart?
diarrhea.
Isn't AFib a heart disease? No, it's osteoporosis of
That's
the
what
skull
they're gonna tell
squeezing.
you.
That's what they're going to tell you, and they want to anesthetize you. Cut your chest open, take a hot branding iron, touch it to your heart to try and kill the part of the heart that's beating irregularly. And they kill. I don't know what the percentage is, but it's a very high high percentage of patients that die from that ablation procedure. AFib has heart symptoms, but it's not a heart disease. The nerve that controls it, the 10th cranial nerve, the vagus nerve, is being squeezed, and the recurrent branch of that oftentimes is being squeezed also. So you get hiccups, you get COPD, chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, it's a non-productive cough. All this stuff, dizziness, okay, can be called vertigo, is the squeezing of the vestibular branch of the 8th cranial nerve. The tinnitus ringing in the ears is a squeezing of the auditory branch of the 8th cranial nerve. Everybody knows about Bell's palsy, where one side of your face droops. That's squeezing the seventh cranial nerve, the facial nerve. Trigeminal neuralgia, terrible pain in your face, under your eyes. That's caused by squeezing the fifth cranial nerve. ONA, optic nerve atrophy, squeezing on and on and on. And then stuff in your hands and your wrists. Doctors say you have carpal tunnel syndrome. That's why you have all this tingling in your fingers and trigger finger and everything. It's your skull squeezing the spinal cord. The spinal cord is coming out of the back of the skull. Even doctors don't remember their training that your spinal cord is formed in the brain, comes out of the back of the skull. They want you to think that, oh, it's a spinal thing. No, when the skull squeezes your spinal cord, is coming out of the back of the skull through the foramen magnum, which is Latin for big hole. Okay, the spinal cord is coming through that. But as you get osteoporosis, you go from a 1/4 inch skull to an inch thick skull, and those openings get smaller and squeeze the spinal cord, and you get all these symptoms. It's kind of like sciatica. You get things going on, hammer toes and tingling and numbness and pain in your feet. It's your low back. It's the same thing with your skull squeezing your spinal cord. It's in your hands and wrists, same principle.
And you had mentioned earlier, referred pain. You've got something going on here, but you're feeling it down here. That's what referred pain is, or you're
Yes.
not feeling it down here.
Yeah, it's happening in
And
your
that's-
skull, but it's showing up in your hands. That's referred pain.
Absolutely. Yeah, I know it all too well, Dr. Wallach.
But now you play
and
the
I love the
piano.
fact I can play the piano. I can type all day long with no pain, no numbness, no tingling.
Wow.
And then I no longer have freezing cold feet with pain, numbness, tingling.
Well, hubby's
so
happy
it's-
about that.
It's all good. It's all good. So we have a few quick questions, Dr. Wallach. Tammy would like to know, is it okay to give a toddler a little BTT instead of the kid's toddy? Just trying to keep it simple in the family.
Yeah, that's fine, but they still need the EFAs.
Okay.
Okay.
And as Ruth Ellen mentioned, we have the Smart FX, which are the smaller ones.
Smaller
So when we're
ones.
talking-
Yep.
Yep, when we're talking toddlers, we can get a smaller size for them to be able to utilize. Now I have a question. It's coming in regarding a male who is 45 years old, 5'8", with infertility issues. He's wanting to be able to produce children, Dr. Wallach. I do not
Okay.
have a weight for him.
Okay, well, let's
So-
just go by 100 pounds.
Yeah,
Okay.
100-pound male wanting to produce children at 45 has not been successful yet.
Okay, well, he needs to get rid of all the bad foods so he can absorb the nutrition. No fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, no glutens, no wheat bran rhinos, no sugar, no carbonated drinks. The diet one's got to go. I want him to take per 100 pounds of body weight. If he weighs 150, he needs to double it, right? But per 100 pounds of body weight, I want him to have one healthy brain and heart pack per month. I want him to get another bottle of our selenium, so he can take 6 of our selenium a day, 3 at breakfast, 3 at dinner time, a half a dose of everything else twice a day. Then I want him also to take the MSM. I get 1 bottle a month, so he can take 3 twice a day or 2, 3 times a day for a total of 6 a day. And they're going to support and promote maintenance, repair, cartilage, ligaments, tendons, connective tissue, disc between a vertebrae, bone, makes a bone itself. Then I also want him to have our Zera test. I want him to take 3 of those twice a day. That's 2 bottles a month. They will give the Sertoli cells in the testicles what they need to make testosterone. And then I also want him to eat 3 eggs twice a day. 3 eggs twice a day with soft yolks. Hard-boiled eggs won't count. Fried eggs cause cancer. So he can have soft poached eggs with soft yolks, soft boiled eggs with soft yolks, soft scrambled in butter. That's how I take mine. You have to appreciate that 75% of your brain weight is cholesterol and 95% of the weight of testosterone is cholesterol. No statin drugs. If you're on a statin drug and you're giving up cholesterol in your diet, you're never going to have a baby, okay? Because you're shutting off all the raw materials for all the equipment, okay? And doctors should be held responsible for that because cholesterol is not responsible for causing plaque and plugging of the arteries. It's oils, fried foods, salad dressings, cooking oils, all that kind of stuff. And that's why the book, Dr. Wallach's Cooking Without the Bad Foods is so popular. you can eat, I mean, you're eating foods that have been tested and designed by 3 professional chefs in Canada, a 3-year project of themselves and me. And we decided there was so much material there, we had to make a book out of it. And that's how the book came about. We didn't do this to come out with a book, but there was so much material, we decided we were going to make a book out of it. But it was actually, they were chastising me for saying you couldn't have gluten and you couldn't have fried foods and couldn't have oils and everything like that. Nobody would eat it. And so we put out all these questionnaires at all the restaurants and their TV programs that they had. These are professional chefs. Okay. And after 3 years of doing this, I mean, we had a room full of material. So we said, okay, we got to have a book out of this. And so I said, what are you going to call it? And so they went together and were whispering, and they came back and said, okay, we're going to call it Dr. Wallach's Cooking Without the Bad Foods. And so that's how the book, that's how the book came about.
All right. Thank you so much for that. And, you know, I love the fact that that was actually a doctor that was writing and wanting to know information from you. So
Okay.
we love
Yeah,
our
we want to,
doctors around the world.
we want to save them. We want to help save their patients. But, you know, there's a generation of doctors that are going to have to die out because they believe everything is genetic and autoimmune, and nothing you can say is going to turn them around because they've had a pretty good living off of milking the herd. Okay. The worst possible thing for human patients was health insurance, because doctors didn't feel bad about milking the herd because the insurance was paying for it.
Well, and there are those few really good doctors who just missed the memo, Dr. Wallach. They didn't get the memo saying, hey, it's about nutrition and removing the bad foods. And
Yep.
that's what we're here to help spread that word. Next, I have an email in from Keith. Keith says, I just recently ordered the Healthy Body Pack with enzymes. What more should I be supplementing for hepatitis C and underactive thyroid issues? So he
Okay,
did
well,
not give any age or weight.
Okay, well,
Go per 100.
hepatitis B or C, it's a virus, right? So it needs the
C,
colloidal
yes.
silver. Okay, Hep C needs our colloidal silver. You can take 2 droppers full under his tongue, 30 minutes for each meal, 30 minutes for bedtime. It'll take 2 of these 4-ounce bottles a month to pull that off. Then he needs also our hand sanitizer, so he can take that before he goes to the bathroom, after he goes to the bathroom, before he takes his bath, after he takes his bath, before he leaves the house, when he comes back in the house. Hand sanitizer. I use it because I am in and out and dealing with so many people all over the place. I don't know who's got what. And so, of course, I'm protecting myself everywhere I can. And then also, I would have him take our killer biotic to support the immune system. Take 3 of those twice a day. That's the reishi mushrooms, and I don't know, half a dozen other mushrooms to support the immune system and relieve inflammation and pain. I would also have him take our Fucoid Z. He could take, and if he prefers the liquid, it comes in Z radical. It's be an ounce twice a day. Well, an ounce per 100 pounds of body weight, but he weighs 150 pounds. It'd be an ounce twice a day of the Z radical. The Fucoid Z could take 3 of those twice a day, no matter what he weighs, 3 twice a day, 2 bottles a month. And it's all these algae and seaweed and so forth from the ocean that have all these weird trace minerals in it to support the immune system. And so it shouldn't take long, but the body's own immune system with all this support will be able to control and kill and drive off that Hep C.
And then how about for the underactive thyroid, Dr. Wallach?
Well, the
I know you
underactive thyroid.
mentioned
Yeah,
Z
so I
radical.
mentioned the Z radical. Yeah, the Z radical and or the Fucoid Z, but we also have Ocean's Gold from the other ocean. I take 3 of those twice a day also. So I'm getting trace minerals from the 2 different oceans, okay, by taking those 2 different products. The Fucoid Z, because I travel so much, I can't take the liquids with me. I do use the liquids when I'm at home, but when I'm on the road, I take the capsules and pills and tablets. So it'd be the Fucoid Z, 3 of those twice a day, and the Ocean's Gold, 3 of those twice a day. That's going to make the thyroid gland happy. They got to stay away from all the bad stuff.
All right. Thank you so much, Dr. Wallach. Let's go to our next hand up. And Annie, you are on live with Dr. Wallach. Welcome back. And go ahead and unmute yourself, my dear.
Annie, get your gun.
Hey, yep, I've done that. And not any
You've
get
probably,
your gun.
you've probably never heard that before.
No, never, Annie Oakley. Actually, I used to work at a museum in Ruidoso, New Mexico, Wild Wild West.
How can we help you today?
Okay, so I've been on your products for a while now, and I take the 90, the 90, the OsteoFix, BTT 90. I just ordered the Collagen Peptide, the MSN. What else? Selenium, of course, comes with the Healthy Brain and Heart Pack, and I'm the one with the defibrillator pacemaker they put in 2018, and which I wouldn't have. I know it was a nutritional and anyway, that's another subject. What I want to know right now is the D3 that you get in the OsteoFix and the 90. The BTT it says 25 mcg on both bottles. Is that enough, or do I need more?
Well, when you have a problem, I would take more. And then when the problem goes away, you can kind of relax on the extra and just, deal with what's in those programs.
Okay. Well, I'm pretty much okay right now. And
okay.
So the book the book that tells about the squeezing of the 10th brain is
it's all in your head.
It's all in your head.
Yeah,
okay.
it's the 12 cranial nerves and the spinal cord.
Okay, and I also want to know if you have, I'm spending all this money and I'm not selling it yet. Once I look, I need to do that and get to know how to use my computer better. But I would like to know if you have a good whey protein. I've cut way down on food because I'm taking all these supplements and I'm older and my metabolism has slowed down. And I also take 25 milligrams of levothyroxine because after my heart.
Well, we have protein shakes that have whey protein in them.
Okay.
We do have protein shakes. I think they come in chocolate and strawberry.
Yes, our True Keto shakes are absolutely fabulous, and they have whey protein.
Okay.
Strawberry and chocolate.
Because I don't think I need to eat that much anymore. I just need to take your products. Right. And okay. So how much protein actually does? I'm 5'6" and weigh 130. Do I need a day?
Well, that's hard to say. Okay. I don't like to answer that question that way. For instance, if you have 3 eggs twice a day, you're probably going to get enough protein. But at the same time, in the morning, I'm going to have smoked salmon, wild salmon from Alaska, which I had this morning, 2 big, nice smoked salmon fillets. And tonight, I'm going to have 2 lamb chops from Australia. Okay. And so twice a week, I will have steak. 3 days a week, I will have gluten-free pizza with hamburgers on top of it and 4 cheeses and 20 vegetables and all this kind of stuff, but they're gluten-free with the, let's see here, cauliflower and rice flour crust. Okay, so you don't have to be bored with it. I'm living a pretty good life here, gluten-free, but I do get plenty of protein. I have protein with every meal. For lunch, I have a very light lunch. I eat 3 of those little Baby Bell cheeses. They're about the diameter of a quarter, maybe a ½ inch thick, and the red wax coverings. Yeah. So I'll have 3 of those with a rebound. And sometimes I'll also have a little bit of, maybe some more fish or a piece of beef left over, if there's a little bit of pizza left over, I'll have that along with that cheese. I have a very light lunch because I have so many things to do like we're doing now. I don't have the time to eat and spend half my life in the bathroom and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Okay, so that helps. Where can I get really good salmon? Do you get it just locally where you live?
Yeah, any grocery,
farm raised?
Costco's. There's Costco's. If you have a Costco's,
okay,
they have smoked wild Alaska salmon.
Okay.
Okay. And also they will have also the cauliflower gluten-free pizza. I also get Haagen-Dazs gluten-free ice cream from them. and I have like 6 different flavors of Haagen-Dazs ice cream in the freezer all the time. I will eat 1/3 of a pint of ice cream of my Haagen-Dazs gluten-free ice cream for dessert every night, 1/3 of a pint. So 1 pint will last me 3 days. Doesn't have to be, I don't eat it like 1 pint over 3 days. I'll have a pint, I'll have maybe 1 serving, and then I'll try a different flavor the next day, and kind of stuff. But I also have a glass of red wine from probably California 90% of the time. Then every once in a while we get a good deal on some red wine from Argentina or Australia or something like that. We'll have some. But I like a glass of red wine with my dinner and give myself a little reward for being such a good boy all day.
Yeah,
Okay.
sure.
Okay.
Okay.
So what I'm trying to tell you is life doesn't have to be boring gluten-free.
Right. Huh. Well, but you can't eat out at restaurants.
Oh, yes, you can. But you have to go to a restaurant that has a separate room for gluten-free and separate waitresses and waiters for gluten-free.
They
And
have those?
oh, sure, they have restaurants, but you have to go to a, kind of like a nice hotel restaurant where they, serve people with some education and travel a
Right.
lot. And okay.
Hmm.
And say, do you have a restaurant here? Just go to the front desk. You have a restaurant here that has a gluten-free separate room and waiters and waitresses. Yeah. Okay. And so you go there and say, I want to see your gluten-free menu. And it should say on the menu, gluten-free.
Uh-huh.
And then, have things that are not going to have gluten. You can have
Right.
some grilled salmon. You can have some smoked salmon. You can have some grilled steak. You can grill pork chops, not pork chops. I don't like pork chops. Lamb chops, excuse me, lamb chops. You can have, let's see here, chicken rice soup. You can't have chicken noodle soup. You can have corn tortillas. You cannot have flour tortillas.
Oh, okay.
Got it?
Okay, and why can't you eat peanuts or peanut butter?
Okay, peanuts and peanut butter. Well, peanut butter has the oils in it, and they're oxidizing and turning into bad things, bad chemicals.
Any almond butter, cashew butter?
No nut butters.
No nut butters, okay.
Okay, you can have fresh nuts. You can get the nuts still in the shells. You crack them and eat them yourself.
Staccia.
Peanuts are particularly dangerous because they're grown in the soil, and they get a fungus on them called aspergillus, which produces a byproduct called aflatoxin. Aflatoxin causes liver cancer. You do not want to eat peanuts. Okay, you do not want to eat peanut butter because of that aflatoxin. That's why people who are poor people have 5 times the liver cancer as rich people. Rich people don't eat that stuff, and that's all that poor people eat. That's why they have such a high rate of liver cancer. It's not a genetic thing. It's not an autoimmune thing. It's just they're getting that aflatoxin because they're eating, they're eating old bread from the thrift store. Well, I throw those 3 slices away that have the penicillin on it. Well, it's not penicillin. It's aspergillus. It's producing that aflatoxin, which is making liver cancer, and you don't want it.
Wow. Okay. So what
All
books?
right.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you,
Okay.
Annie. We
Okay,
are at
thank
the
you
top
very
of
much.
the hour. So thank you
Okay.
for those great questions, Annie and Dr. Wallach. I mean, we covered a lot of stuff today.
Yep. Very
And
good. Thank you. Thank
I
you and your
love
team.
that.
Beautiful.
So if we did not get to your question, please go to askdoclive.com and use the contact us option. I know there were a couple hands still up, a couple questions still available, and we want to make sure that you're getting the information you need to meet your health goals as well. My name is again Rebecca Kozak. On behalf of my co-hosts John T. McCollier, Nasima Omar, Ruth Ellen Sanchez, and the incredible Dr. Joel Wallach, we thank you for joining us and allowing us to help you become empowered in your own health journey. Dr. Wallach, we'll see you again next time.
Okay. Thank you, dear. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye,
Bye-bye,
everybody.
everybody.
Bye for now.
Bye-bye.